Welcome, everyone. Good morning. It's welcome to the Ask the SCSA on this Thursday, April 23rd. For everyone in industry and anyone out there watching, we are now live on Zoom and Facebook Live twice a week, Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. If you are recommending this webinar to anyone in industry or someone that's interested in sitting in, you can locate the links on our website to the Zoom meeting or to Facebook Live, or just go to our Facebook page and you can join us live. My name is Mike Moore. I'm a safety advisor at the SCSA. This morning, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a presentation, short presentation here on mental health. And we're going to be going to give a little bit of an update from the departments around the SCSA on what's going on, what's new, things like that. And then going to a question and answer period and wrapping up before 10 o'clock this morning. This presentation will be available to view at a further date. We record them and they'll be posted on various media outlets. So I guess to start off this morning, what I'd like to do is I'll introduce Sandhi, and I'll give it to you and you can take over the screen and with your presentation.
Hi, I'm Sandhi. I've been with the SCSA since last fall. So this is going to be my first PowerPoint live. So let's see if we can make this work here. Mike, give me a second.
So during the presentation, Sandhi, as you get prepared, I'd encourage anyone, if there's any questions that pop into your mind, there's no need to wait with those questions. If you have questions related to the presentation or questions for the SCSA for any of our departments, please use the Q&A feature in the Zoom and post your questions there, and I'll be monitoring that.
There we go. All right, can we see that, Mike?
Sure can.
Okay, thank you for joining me. Before I get going, I have to say to Joanne Davis for helping me develop this presentation in some short notice. So thank you, Joanne. So with COVID-19 now officially being called a pandemic by the World Health Organization, public fear and anxiety are on the rise. At the front of everyone's mind throughout the COVID-19 crisis is how to safely navigate this challenging time. Your employees may be experiencing a higher degree of uncertainty, worry, and stress about the health and safety of their loved ones, and how this pandemic may disrupt their work and personal lives. Keeping safety first is nothing new to our industry. The SCSA's mandate is to provide safety-related programs and service to the construction industry that result in a sound foundation for a safe, healthy, and profitable industry. This pandemic is a type of challenge we've never faced, but we are putting it together and our team is stepping up to make sure we are here to support our members. We all recognize that while employers are preparing responses to safeguard their businesses, operations, and protect their physical health of their employees during this crisis, it's also important to consider everyone's psychological health and safety too. In any given year, 1 in 5 people in Canada will personally experience a mental health problem or illness. Mental illness affects people of all ages, education, income levels, and cultures. Approximately 8% of adults will experience major depression at some time in their lives. About 1% of Canadians will experience bipolar disorder or manic depression. So we have some basics throughout this presentation. The basics, the definition, some symptoms, 10 healthy habits you can do, COVID-19 considerations, and some resourceful links will be held at the end of the presentation. So the World Health Organization actually states mental health is a state of complete physical and mental and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. In the workplace, there can be no health without mental health. Woohoo. So what is mental health? Mental health is the state of your psychological and emotional well-being. It is a necessary resource for living a healthy and a main factor in overall health. It does not mean the same thing as mental illness. However, a poor mental health can lead to mental and physical illness. Good mental health allows you to feel, think, and act in ways that help you enjoy life and cope with its challenges. This can be positively or negatively influenced by items such as life experiences, family situations, the death of a loved one, financial and employment status, relationships with others, such as your friends, families, coworkers, and schoolmates, your work or school environment, physical health, such as problems caused by long-term illness, alcohol or drug abuse, and the type of community you live in. Is that a supportive and trusting community, or one where everyone keeps to themselves? So some signs and symptoms of mental health, and they vary depending on the types of mental illness, but the following can be cause for concerns. So major changes in eating or sleeping habits, having strong feelings of anger, having strange beliefs not based in reality, delusions, hearing or seeing things that aren't there, so hallucinations, a growing inability to cope with daily problems and activities, some confused thinking about harming or suicidal thoughts, not admitting to obvious problems, having many physical ailments that have no clear cause, substance abuse, feeling sad or irritable for more than 2 weeks, feelings of extreme highs and lows, excessive fears, worries, and anxieties, and spending more time alone or avoiding others. So who is affected? Mental illness indirectly affects all Canadians at some time through a family member, friend, or colleague. Mental illness affects people of all ages, education, income levels, and culture. People of all occupations, income levels, and cultures, regardless of their education, age, or level of success, can be affected. WorkSafe mental health awareness courses are available through the Canadian or the CCOHS. I believe that's coming up in the next slide here. By age 40, how common are mental health issues? By age 40, about 50% of the population will have had a mental illness, will have or have had a mental illness. Schizophrenia affects about 1% of the Canadian population. Anxiety disorders affect 5% of household population, causing mild to severe impairments. Suicidal accounts for 24% of all deaths among 15 to 24-year-olds and 60% among 25 to 44-year-olds. Suicide is one of the leading causes of death in both men and women from adolescent to middle age. The mortality rate due to suicide among men is 4 times the rate of women. So what are some causes of mental illness? A complex biological, personality, and environmental factors cause mental illness. Almost 1/2 of those who feel they have suffered from depression or anxiety have never gone to see a doctor about this problem. Stigma or discrimination attached to mental illness presents a serious barrier, not only to the diagnosis and treatment, but also to the acceptance in the community. Mental illness can be treated effectively. So what are some economic costs? The economic costs of mental illness in Canada for the healthcare system was estimated to be at $7.9 billion in 1998, $4.7 billion in care and $3.2 billion in disability and early death. In addition, $6.3 billion was spent on uninsured mental health services and time off work for depression and distress that was not treated by the healthcare system. Those are some old stats, but nevertheless, they're still out there. So what are some healthy habits? The Canadian Centre for Occupational Health and Safety has some useful tips for us. So mental health fitness. Take time for me time. Play up some of your strengths. de-stress your diet, reward yourself within reason, and ask for help and offer to help others. Choose a positive attitude. Set goals and stay on target with journaling. Press pause. Downtime is good time. Practice relaxation techniques and get enough sleep. Get regular physical activity. So some effects on mental illness: heart problems, aggression, back pain, cancers, impaired learning and memory, substance abuse, infections, other injuries or illness, reduced adaptability, and increased passivity. On April 15th, 2020, Canadian Mental Health Association called for an urgent community investment in mental health, announcing that Canada must act now to prevent echo pandemic of mental illness due to COVID-19. To avoid a potential echo pandemic of mental illness and mental health issues as a result of COVID-19, the Canadian Mental Health Association calls for immediate investment in the scale up of cost-effective, evidence-based community mental health programs and supports that could take pressure off acute care services across Canada. Pandemic and mental health. A pandemic is a very stressful event for individuals and communities. It's normal to feel some stress and anxiety. It's also very common for people to display great resiliency during times of crisis. We should remember this, that is absolutely the time to lean on each other. Even if we can't be closely physical, we need to stay emotionally close. So while you're stay in touch with each other and reach out if you need support. So in order to support the psychological health and safety of your employees, the Canadian Mental Health Association recommends employers considering the following 6 tips. Excuse me. Have a plan. Let the employees know that you are thinking and looking ahead, that you will stay well informed, and that you can answer the questions they already have, like what if I get sick? How do I take time off work? What if a family member contracts the virus? You may want to compile frequently asked questions and direct employees to them often. Communicate, share, and be open. Worry and fear grow in the absence of up-to-date information. Let your employees know that they can expect regular updates from you. Communicate even if the situation remains unchanged. Empathize. Share that you know it's stressful. Recognize be anxious. Remind your employees of resources. EAP that may also be available to those who are experiencing stress through your workplace. Reassure as best you can. You can refer to reports indicating that most people who become infected with the virus will recover. Understand. Recognize when stress has become unmanageable for an individual employee. Stress can lead to anxiety and even panic. Some employees may need mental health days and medical intervention in order to cope. Encourage employees to practice self-care, activities on the job, and reassure them that it's okay to take steps to manage stress, such as relaxation exercises, listening to relaxing music, or taking regular breaks. And recognizing this is not business as usual. Know that work will likely be impacted, work will slow down, and necessary travel may be canceled. Reassure staff that expectations will shift accordingly, and that's okay. We will get through this. What you can do. How do we stay emotionally healthy when many around us are fearful? If you become consumed by breaking news about the spread of coronavirus, you can also choose to step away from the media reports for a time. At the same time, if you find yourself being overwhelmed by the news or compulsively checking the news, then you need to take a break and you need to set limits for yourself. Pay attention to your body and your emotions. It's natural to experience stress and anxiety in the face of a threat we cannot control, because every person reacts differently. Notice that your body and emotions, what they're telling you. Listen to your emotions, noticing any anxiety, sadness, anger, or detachment. Listen to your body, noticing any changes in appetite, new aches, new pains, or feeling particularly hot or cold. When you notice troubling symptoms, pause to care for your body and mind. If you become unable to manage or function well, seek the assistance of a professional. Adapt and evolve. Each day we learn new ways of adapting to COVID-19. This is an evolving situation that has changed the way we live, work, and connect with our family, friends, and colleagues. Everything from working from home to physical distancing and separation from our loved ones, making these changes take a significant toll and impact the way we think, feel, and act. So some tips here. If someone you know needs some extra support, we've put together some tips to help you reach out and start a conversation. So stay connected. Keep in touch via phone, video conferencing, and online platforms. Consider routinely checking in with others. Examples would be scheduling activities such as sharing a virtual lunch or dinner with friends, family, and colleagues. Recognize the signs. Be aware of behavior changes, such as tone of voice, loss of focus, and no longer participating during check-ins. Others may show signs of feeling overwhelmed, scared, confused, or angry. Help others focus on what they can control. Be positive and encourage self-care. Talk through a daily routine that supports healthy habits, such as getting enough sleep, eating well, and engaging in relaxing activities. Show support and acknowledge their experience. Be accepting and non-judgmental. Take the time to listen and ask what would help them feel more supported. Know your boundaries and when to seek outside support. If someone needs professional support, talk to them about the services available. Use the helpful services we've listed below in the end of the presentation here. And check in on yourself. It can be difficult to see someone in distress. Make sure you first take care of yourself. So laughter therapy, the physiological effects of laughter therapy. It's true, it's strong medicine. It draws people together in ways that trigger healthy physical, emotional changes in the body. Disclaimer, Joanne had nothing to do with this slide. Some resources we've put together for you in the next few slides are some great mental health resources for everyone. Remember to check with your employer to see if they offer an employee assistance plan, otherwise known as an EAP. They can offer a range of services such as helping to deal with personal issues, job stress, relationship issues, balancing work and family life, financial and legal, elder care, child care, parenting issues, and family violence. So the Canadian Mental Health Association has a wellness support response line. It was launched provincially April 13th, 2020 to offer assistance to Saskatchewan residents who feel the need to talk to someone during these challenging times of a global pandemic. The support line is an initiative by the CMHA Saskatchewan Division to assist residents with mental wellness during the COVID-19 pandemic. Each CMHA branch in the province offers this service through a dedicated support line. And the numbers are all listed on this screen. And this presentation will be available for viewing later. So in Saskatchewan, that kind of support is really only a phone call away. Helpline 811 is a confidential 24-hour information and support telephone line. It is staffed by experienced and specially trained registered nurses, registered psychiatric nurses, and registered social workers. Services are offered in English with translations available in over 100 languages. A new service called 211 Saskatchewan has recently begun. It provides more than 5,000 listings of social, community, non-clinical health, and government services across the province as a part of a joint effort between the United Way agencies in Regina and Saskatoon. If you have concerns related to mental health for yourself or even a close family member, by calling 811, you will be directed to a mental health professional where you can discuss your concerns with them in a safe, caring, and confidential manner. Health Canada, in partnership with Thrive Health, has created the Canada COVID-19 app. This app is a central resource for assessing personalized, trusted, evidence-based information about the COVID-19 pandemic. Updates will be made as guidelines evolve to ensure that you are assessed with the most up-to-date recommendations. Stay up to date on COVID-19, a real-time feed of new information about COVID-19 and updates from the provincial and federal governments. The in-app updates ensure that you are aware of the latest developments in your province and across the country. It allows you to track symptoms with the self-care. So to complete a self-check at any time to determine whether you require further assessment guidance from a healthcare professional. The guidelines in the self-check feature will be updated as guidelines evolve to ensure that you are assessed with the most up-to-date recommendations. For more information on mental health, the SCSA online.ca, our website, you can also go to under our tab resources, and you will find the links to the mental health. So that is everything. Thank you for your interest in mental health and safety. We hope you were able to take away a few pieces of information from this presentation. Please remember that this is for general awareness and that you should contact a health professional if you do need help.
Thank you, Sundie. I'll let you close your presentation and come back to the panelists. So for any of that information that your employees may be interested in, or if someone else in the industry that you may know, an owner or a manager that's having some focus on mental health with their crews, please feel free to play that video with the presentation at your crew meetings. Things like that may be a great resource. There is a chat function in our Zoom meeting here that's being filled. Joanne and other people are putting some links in there to other mental health resources, things that Sundie was talking about during the presentation. So please check out that function and the chats and copy and paste those links into your browser, or just click on them and you can move forward into that. So now I'd like to move on to welcoming our panelists. And first of all, I'll just do a quick introduction for each panelist, and then we'll get an update from the departments. First, I'll start with the two advisors that are with us. Sundie, as was already speaking. Welcome, Sundie. Thank you again for doing the presentation. Curtis is with us. He's another SCSA safety advisor. Takes care of the Prince Albert area region up to La Ronge, and in that area, the northeast part of the province. Sundie, what area do you take care of in Saskatchewan?
Just around Regina, Mike. North up to Raymore, over to Fort Capel, down to Regina, over to Lumsden. Great.
Thanks, Sundie. And like any of the panelists, our emails are going to be found on our website. If you want to reach out, if you find yourself in Shellbrook, or like you say in Regina or something like that, please find the email, reach out to an advisor, and we can elaborate on anything that we speak on today, or address any needs you have. Next, I'd like to introduce Adam from the Safety Training Technician with the SCSA. Welcome, Adam.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Yeah, my name's Adam Drummond. I'm a trainer over at SCSA here. Yeah, that's
Adam.
About it. That's all I do.
That's all you do, hey? Right. And next, I'd like to welcome Jason Clapper. He is a program auditor with the SCSA, so welcome, Jason. And Lori. Lori is our program administrator with program services, so a wealth of knowledge, and really happy to have you here today. So now I'd like to go to the departmental updates, and I'll ask Curtis, please, if you could give an update from the Advisory Services Department.
Absolutely, thanks, Mike. Yes, Curtis Prod, Safety Advisor with the SCSA. Yeah, the advisor team, we've been working on quite a few different projects lately in lieu with COVID-19, and furthermore with furthering our programs and our services that we offer to our member companies. One of those aspects of furthering bettering our training and aspects of what we offer is the advisor team is now conducting a fall protection survey. So we are actually reaching out to member companies and doing exactly that, asking a survey of how we can better our fall protection program. Okay, so if you do get one of those phone calls from one of the advisors in your region, we will be asking questions if you're comfortable with that, or we can actually email you that survey for you to fill out confidential and send off to the SCSA so we can further our fall protection course. Other things that we're doing that I think are really awesome is we've moved our RSC, so our regional safety committees have gone online. So historically they've been either a lunch or breakfast meeting in the regions that have regional safety committees. With everything going on, we have now moved those online. So if you are interested in knowing if you have a regional safety committee, and more importantly, if they are holding a meeting virtual right now with current state, you can visit our website. So as Sunday stated earlier, it is scsaonline.ca. So that's scsaonline.ca. Once you get to our website, you'll see our main page. It'll say COVID-19, and it has a breakdown of kind of in an effort to keep everyone updated. And we do a little breakdown there of what it is. And then at the top, you'll see careers, news, courses. You're going to click on news. Then you're going to scroll down and you're going to see a few other words, and you're going to click on events. Okay. So once you click on events, you're going to be brought to a page where it shows a few things that we have going on, like these Ask the SCSA. So you can actually click on a couple links there for Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. for Ask the SCSA. And then if you scroll just below that, you'll see a little blurb on our quarterly regional safety committee meetings. And below there, you'll actually see links to our Zoom meetings for the SCSA RSC meetings. Prince Albert had one on April 21st. That was at 11 a.m. So you can actually log on and to Prince Albert Regional Safety Committee Facebook page, and we have a link to that video on there. And I do believe we're working on getting that onto our website and our Facebook page as well. And then right below Prince Albert, you'll see Regina and Estevan. So Regina has their RSC coming up on April 23rd at 1 p.m. and then Estevan on April 29th at 10 a.m. So if you are interested in being a part of one of those regional safety committee meetings in your region, or it doesn't even have to be in your region, if you just want to attend an RSC meeting, please feel free. You don't have to be in that region. Great updates, great information come out of these regional safety committee meetings. And not only that, it's your voice from industry. So if you have any questions or concerns for industry, the construction industry, please feel free to attend and give your input with any questions or concerns you might have. There's always a great genre of professionals at these meetings, and tons of information and education at these meetings as well. So yes, please feel free to check out our website, and don't hesitate to get a hold of the SCSA if you need anything.
Thank you, Curtis. Great update. And I had a question, and like I said, I'm monitoring the Q&A function here, so please send your questions in. If Curtis says something, or any of the other panelists that spawns a question, or you want some more clarification, a great avenue is through our Q&A function. Larry actually posed, is there a meeting today? And yes, Larry, there is. Like Curtis had mentioned, Regina does have their RSC meeting today, so please attend. And you can get there through our website. So, okay, next I would like to go over to our training department. Adam, would you like to give us an update from the training department on anything new that's going on, the ways that we're adapting through our training department, please?
Sure, yeah. So training department update is we're training. that's the update. So we've got a few classes. We've been teaching confined space contractor safety management, OHC level 1, and safety admin will be coming up here pretty quick. Those are the ones that we're presently teaching, and we're adding more to that list. So May 6th will be our LSC class. It'll be our first time teaching for through Zoom for LSC. But, and then auditor is going to be coming up, and we're just going to keep on adding classes. We have to make a few tweaks here and there just so it works with Zoom. But eventually all of our classes will end up being on, or being offered. You can go onto our website and find our schedule and see what's being offered, check it out, give us a call. Some of our classes we might not post onto the calendar just because we're test running it, but that's okay. Give us a call. You might just be able to jump in, but for the most part, that's it. Yeah, I think that's all for our training department.
Thank you, Adam. Another question that was posed is, I'm on my phone on your website. I do not see the events tab. What I'm going to do is someone in the background is going to get that all figured out and find out where those links are for the Zoom meetings, and we'll get that to you. So thank you, Adam. Next, I'd like to go to our program service department. Our program service department is our department that is in charge of audits, in charge of core, SECOR, NCSO, HSA, and I'll kick that over to you, Lori, for any updates.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. Good morning. Yes, I'm Lori, Program Administrator at the SCSA. Like Mike said, our area does cover quite a few programs. We are functioning as best as we can and doing most items as normal. I'll just give you a recap of how we're still helping people and then what's new. For the audits, we're going to do those by email. So people would conduct their audit, the auditor signs off, the senior rep signs off. So we will now have them scan the audits to us. I'll give you an email so that any future items like that can be sent to is SCSA programiinfo@scsaonline.ca. So that's the way to contact our department. So we can still review audits. We can review manual submissions electronically. We can also do the registrations for the program still. So that's all working as normal. NCSO, we get some questions of the people who can write the test. So if the NCSO has done all their courses, they can write the exam through our partnership with SAS Poly. We do ask them to contact us first, make sure they are eligible, then they can register with SAS Poly to take the exam remotely. So they would need a computer with a camera, microphone, those such requirements. That's all done remotely. Our newest item now is SECOR remote audits. Because SECOR audits are documentation review, we've got a new setup in place that we can do that electronically with the company. So we'll be having them upload their documentation to a secured file site. The auditor can access it that way. They'll be using Teams to do the opening, closing, and check-in points with the company so they can conduct the audit all over the computer, which is great. So that's our newest update right now. Jason, maybe, do you have anything that you'd like to add to our group? It's good.
Hey, thank you, Lori. And Jason, because he is a program auditor, is with the program services side of the thing. So thank you, Lori, for on behalf of you and Jason to give that update.
Mike?
Yes?
Just to clarify on that question about the app or being on the phone to find it, it's actually under courses. So if they click on courses and then they'll see events, so that they can click on events and then it'll bring them to that page where they can link them to these Zoom meetings for Ask the SCSA, as well as the Zoom meetings for the regional safety committees. So it's under the courses tab if you're on your mobile phone, and then so you'll click on courses, then you'll click on events and it'll bring you to those links. Okay, sorry, yeah, there you go.
That's wonderful, Curtis. Thank you for jumping in. I wrote that down to get to that, so I'm glad that you jumped on that. So now I want to go to a couple of questions that are out there. And there's a few here about our training. So Adam, what I want to do is first off, I'd like to ask you, there's a question out here that's asking about that you said the call to book. Who exactly are people going to be able to call to book into a course?
You're just going to be calling the SCSA line. So in Regina, it's 525-0175. Saskatoon, not sure your guys' number, but you can just call us. There's somebody that'll be able to answer. We've got somebody around that will be able to tell you if our classes are full, what we're offering, and all that good stuff. But I do suggest checking online first just to see what's going on. But by all means, any of our, I believe the 800 number will take you to somebody that can answer the training questions as well.
Great, thank you. Where would they find, another question, where do you find upcoming classes? Is there a different process than normal, or where would the industry find what classes we're offering? Because I'm assuming that these courses are going to be offered as we prepare them to be broadcast via the internet, hey?
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit slower going right now. What we're doing is during the start of us starting to work from home, we had to cancel some classes. So what we've been doing is trying to get those people back into the classes that we're offering right now. That doesn't mean that we're not taking anybody else. It should be posted online on our website when our new classes are coming about, so you'll be able to take a look at there. As well, anybody who's been working with advisors, call up your advisor. They'll be able to help you out as well, tell you our training schedule if you're having trouble finding it. But essentially, bottom line is if you can't see it on the website, give us a call and we'll confirm if we're offering it or not.
Great, and I have another question just to go with that. Someone's asking, I'm on the online classes page, but I don't see any of the classes you mentioned, like LSC, OHC, or safety management. Is that found on our online classes page, or did it look somewhere else, Adam?
It should be found under the SCSA online schedule calendar on our website. Some of the classes, like for example, LSC, we're going to be offering that May 6th, but that class is already full. And it's our first one teaching LSC, so we're just going to keep it the size that it is, and we're going to roll it out just to that class that we have already filled up. So that might not be there anymore. Some of the other classes that I mentioned, they were being taught before, so they wouldn't be on the calendar yet. I know that we're updating our calendar every day. We're just, we're taking a little bit slower on it. For example, today, right now, one of our trainers, Mark, is teaching contractors. So that's happening today. That might not show up on the calendar. But you will see, if you don't see it now, you will start seeing it that it's going to be coming back to normal on the our schedule online. We'll be posting all the time. You'll see with a month or two, or maybe even 3 months ahead, what we're going to be teaching. You won't see that right now, but you will see that eventually.
So there's another question here, Adam. Our May 6th LSE class is full. There is obviously a lot of demand for training for companies that want to utilize this time to update their training matrices and stuff. When is the next one for LSE? Do we have any idea?
I wish I had an answer for you. We don't know when the next LSE is coming. So when May 6th is done and everything goes well, you'll see the LSCs being posted on our schedule. We just need to get this first one off of our plate, and then we can start rolling it out to, on our schedule and start pre-booking our calendar for it. We do understand it is a core class, and we're working our butts off to be able to get it so it's out there in our schedule and people can start booking.
Thank you, Adam. And I got another training related question, but I'm going to pose this one over to Lori, please, if I could. An attendee is asking, if LSC keeps filling up and I need it before I submit my manual, is this taken into consideration when my core comes due?
Okay, that would kind of depend on the situation of the company, whether they're registered and working towards getting certified for core, whether they're already certified. So some factors there. If they're talking about the course, I assume they're registered, they're working towards core. So they would have a deadline for their milestone. If they're still working on the training, I would assume they're fairly early in that milestone phase. The milestone is 1 year. So like Adam mentioned, this is the first rollout of that course. So there will be plenty more posted. So it shouldn't be an issue to get into some courses in the next little while.
Great. So I guess just to clarify on that for specifics, just in case maybe we're missing the mark on what the question is actually asking, because there's a lot of different details in there. Please feel free to contact the SCSA, contact a safety advisor, contact someone at Program Services to discuss your specific needs. Yeah, and we'll help you work through that. Okay, so another question here. I have a question here, and I don't know if this is posed because maybe they've had some difficulty, but does your 1-800 number work? Is there any panelist that knows about this or has used our 1-800 number to call one of our offices to get forwarded?
I can say that I've called the 800 number, but a little while ago, I had no troubles. So I couldn't speak if anybody was having any troubles with it.
Okay. Excellent. Thanks, Adam. And again, if the 1-800 number, if we're having issues with that out in the public, please contact us. Let us know if there may be some certain type of glitching that we can look into and see why that's happening. But as far as we know, it is working. Another training question. I like this. I'm missing, and this might actually be for Program Services as well. I'm missing LSE and Auditor. My manual is complete, but won't be accepted for review until I complete these courses. What do I do? I'm assuming this is along the same lines as the other question. Will we be reviewing manuals? I guess maybe to clarify on this, will we be reviewing manuals prior to the training being fulfilled? Lori, would you like to step in on that?
I can take that. Yes, we won't be reviewing the manuals prior to the training being done. We were aware that the training department is going to get those core courses up and developed first to get those out to everyone. So there has been a little bit of a delay over this last month, but shouldn't be anything significant to impact their milestone date at this point. If they've been still working on the training, they're early on in the registration phase. Yeah, so if a company is done the training and it is time to review the manual, we're absolutely taking those. And then that would move them on to the milestone 2 phase.
Excellent. Thank you. Someone's posing the question, is your office is closed. Is someone going to answer the 1-800 number? And I'm going to elaborate on that question too. If someone calls any of the SCSA phone numbers, is there someone that's on the other end of the phone during work hours?
I can help out with that. Yes. If they're calling any of the other numbers, they are getting routed to Regina. There are people at the Regina office manning the phones.
Great. Thank you. Okay, another question. Do you have any resources on ride sharing? Could you go over some basic tips? Yeah. And I'll forward that off to maybe Sundee. Would you like to chime in on something like that?
Sure. Yeah, I can chime in on that one. So we actually, under our resource tab under the COVID-19 section, you'll find COVID-19 safe vehicle sharing. So some best practices that we actually have on there, recommended ways to reduce exposure. There's a checklist for a cleaning. So make sure you're cleaning your keys, your fobs, starter buttons, inside and outside the door handles, the steering wheels, the levers, the console, the dashboards, any high touch surfaces. But there is a basic checklist attached to that, as well as some recommended ways to reduce exposures. So install a plexiglass shield. If a barrier is not possible, you could use PPE such as face covering or masks. Maintaining good ventilation inside the cab, have the windows cracked open, clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces, which we just talked about. Have the driver open and close the doors for each passengers. Provide seat covers that are easy to clean. Avoid having more than 2 people in the front and more than 2 people in the back. Ideally, only have the driver and one other person in the opposite side at the back. Do not touch your face, eyes, nose, or mouth. Cover your mouth and nose with the crease of your elbow or a tissue when you sneeze or cough. Hand sanitizer inside the vehicle for the occupants to use. no eating or drinking while you're inside the vehicle, and minimize the number of vehicles shared by employees to limit the spread of the virus between different users. So that whole information sheet can be found again on our resource tab.
Thank you, Sandy. And another one related to that, to our website, are the mental health links that we talked about during the presentation today, are they available on our website?
Yes, they are under the resources. And if you go right down to the second from the bottom, it's mental health. And those resources will, there's five actually that are there. To register, it's through the CCOHS. The link will take you there from our website. So there's mental health courses available for free right now through the CCOHS, and it's mental health awareness. There's one on communication strategies. There's one on health and wellness strategies. There's one on psychologically safe workplaces. And the last one here they have available is signs, symptoms, and solutions. I believe they're all about 1 hour courses. The awareness one, I think it's about 20 minutes. So it's definitely a good resource to check out.
Thanks. Jason, you've been awfully quiet. I got a couple of questions here. It's a two-part question. I'm going to combine two questions here, and they're both in relation to the remote audit process. So how much of a company's documentation would they need to scan and submit? Would it be all of it? And then the second part of that question, would they need to be on video conference for the duration of the audit? Like, what would that process look like? Is there an idea of, I know we're in the early stages of doing this and planning for it, but do you have any guidance on that or what that might look like, Jason?
Sure, I can answer a couple things on that. As for uploading documentation, of course, every audit is going to be unique. And we are going to ask for as much as possible, but we are here to work with you. If it is a situation where there is so much documentation, we'll try to give enough time to upload over time. Over a couple of weeks, you can upload to the files. As well as during the day, I don't think we will need to be on video all day long, but we will ask that they're available so that if we have questions or we're missing something, we'll be able to reach out and contact them and they'll be able to upload their document in a timely fashion. So I haven't experimented and tried it out myself yet. We haven't actually launched it, but we're working very hard and behind the scenes to make sure that this is going to be as smooth as possible. And we'll be starting in May. We do have a handful booked right now. So yeah, go ahead, start booking them and we'll do our best for you.
And with that, Jason, because it is it's early stages of this, I'm assuming that as we go, we will learn our lessons. There will be developments. There'll be more and more things that become apparent to us to streamline the way we're doing these audits. But when they book their audit, they will get assigned an auditor, and there will be correspondence with the auditor prior to the audit that a lot of these things can be hashed out. Is that true?
That's right. It's going to be exactly the same process as before. The only real difference is now we're not going to be live in person. We're going to be more live, interactive this way through our computers and cell phones. Until, of course, we can go back to our new normal as normal as we can.
Okay, another training question, because I think training is at top of mind for industry with us starting to release more and more classes. Does each individual person have to have their own computer screen and a camera to participate in the virtual training?
Here's what I'll tell you for now. It is preferred that they do have a camera and a computer. We do offer some, or Zoom does offer that you can do the courses through a cell phone or through a tablet. And some of our courses that we're going to be offering or are offering, you can use a cell phone, you can use a tablet or a computer. The preference still is a computer, and there will be some classes that you will absolutely need a computer. For example, our auditor class. Once that is going to be offered and on our schedule, that's going to be one of the classes where it's a little bit of work, and using a cell phone will be virtually impossible, and a tablet will be a little bit harder. So there will be times where you have to have a computer and a camera. we don't necessarily need to see the person for video on all of our classes. It is nice. It is really nice. But they definitely need to be able to speak with us. So they will have to have some sort of computer with a mic so that we can talk. But yes, preferably computer for all our classes. We will tell you when they absolutely need computers, and then you can use a cell phone or a tablet for the other classes. But that will be mentioned when you sign up, when we send an email to you with the links and so on of what needs to happen. You can also call us and we'll let you know which ones absolutely need to have computers and which ones can be used with a cell phone or a tablet.
Great. And to tack on to that, Adam, with training going virtual, will you be offering multiples of the same course in a day?
Well, however the schedule will work out, we'll be looking at demand. We'll be listening to what our members are looking to have. But yeah, absolutely. We have 4 trainers here. The idea will be eventually that all 4 will be training every single day. So we will be offering multiple classes in one day.
That's wonderful. So here's another question by an anonymous attendee. Is there any other avenue to contact advisors, or is there just the main number? And then I want to tack on another question onto there for one of the advisors. When will advisors be coming out to regions again? Someone in the region's asking. I heard that work restrictions may be lifted soon. Any guidance on those things?
Yeah, I would say that we'll be playing it the same as everybody else is. So the government stating that if we can to social distance and all those aspects of it. So we will be following what the government's protocol is. So until they state that about essential services and social distancing, once all that stuff's lifted, then we will look at easing back into our region. But until then, we will not be coming out to our regions. You can contact the advisors through, we've done lots of these video conferences with our members, lots of phone calls. We're at our beck and call with our emails. Cell phones are here. We're all completely available as you need. We've even gone as far as doing manual builds and whatnot online. So we are 100% available, but for the in-face visits, that's just not happening as of yet. So as that becomes a little bit more available, we will keep everybody posted.
Just to add to that, Curtis and Mike, if you go to the SCSA's homepage again, under the contact tab, you can select the contact button on the top, or you can, if you know your advisor's name, you can contact the Regina office. If you click there, it should give you a list of the different advisors there as well.
Okay, thank you, Sundee and Curtis. A couple of more SECOR audit questions here. Is there a process for the SECOR audit that someone can review, and where would that be found?
Could you just say the first part again?
Yeah, no problem, Lori. Is there a process, like a documented process for the SECOR audit that someone would be able to review, and where would they find that?
Just thinking what they mean by the process. If a company is registered for SECOR, we've given them a full package of all the information related to the program. If they're talking more about specifically maybe looking at the audit tool, there is a SECOR audit tool on our website. That would also again be under that resource tab, and then there's another drop down that's legislation, documents, tools. It's down on that page. You're going to see the self audit tool. There's a copy of a core tool, a SECOR tool, if that's what they're referring to there.
Excellent. So it's not like our process has changed. What's happened is the audit is going to be done potentially via the using the internet and that. And if there's any specific information about that prior to someone booking their audit, who would they call, and where would they be able to discuss that with someone?
Generally that program info email, so SCSA program info at scsaonline.ca. If a company is working through SECOR and they're at the point where their manual was reviewed, we've already given them audit paperwork to fill out to get that audit scheduled with us. And they would previously have been given that information, but if you need to reach out to us again, yeah, email us.
Great. Is there a special program on someone's computer that they need for the online SECOR audit?
No, not a program. We would just be giving them a specific link to the file that they can upload their documentation to. That would be specifically for them.
And then would there be an online platform such as Zoom that we're using or something like that?
Yes, I believe we're going to go with the Teams aspect. So the auditor would do an invite to them to do Teams meetings. So they would have to put an application on their computer or their phone for the Teams.
So another question, do I need to scan and submit my files for the audit, or can I just file share or screen share during the audit?
We are asking them to upload that documentation ahead of time. Yeah, it wouldn't be just a screen share or sharing with the auditor at that time.
Right. That may prolong the audit.
Right.
Excellent. We're going to try to get to one last question here. Is there, I like this one. I have about 10 people working from home. We talk about work every day, but I don't know how to make sure they're okay other than asking. Any tips on how, making sure that crews are doing okay working from home?
I would say something that's very important is reach out to individuals instead of groups, right? So reach out to an individual person, make those personal calls. People are more likely to talk to you one-on-one than you are in a group. Even an email, somebody might be a little bit more comfortable typing something out in an email instead of talking about it in person, and knowing who your employees are. You know, knowing, kind of getting to know them, how they deal and how they cope with stuff. But I think it's very important to reach out to an individual person, and as well as let them know that there is resources out there for them. So maybe they're not telling you something, but you know they're kind of struggling. Offer the resources to them, okay? And it doesn't have to be as a person, but you can say, hey, as a group, here's some resources if somebody's struggling. Encourage them to talk, encourage them to call you, encourage them to talk to each other. If you know somebody's struggling, that's very important to talk. And maybe they don't want to talk to you, maybe they'll open up to a coworker. But that's very important to talk, and don't back them in a corner. Talk to them one-on-one, not in a group setting.
Thank you, Curtis. So what I'm going to do is we're going to wrap up today's meeting. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and anyone that's watching the recorded version of this meeting. Thank you for the presentation today, Sandy, on mental health. Very well done, and to all of our panelists. If you would like some more information from the SCSA, please call one of our numbers, Saskatoon or Regina, or reach out via email to us, and we'll do our best to answer your questions. There is, just to reiterate, there is a Regina RSC today at 1 p.m. Please join us on that. And we are here every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 a.m. at Ask the SCSA. Thank you for joining us.